And there's also a really good shade pocket here, and I think that's why these fish are pulling up and using this point. Woo! Yes! Yep, good one. Oh no! Look at him, did you see that? That was a freaking 3-pounder. Oh, dang it. Ah. It was a good one though. Swimming a jig in this grass first thing in the morning, guys. That fish jumped right out of the water. Golly. Good one though. Just fishing here on a rainy day in early July, and that fish missed it first time. Cast back in there, he bit it, and I just didn't get the hook in him. But great way to start the day, first thing in the morning here. Can't really pick the days you fish, but today's been really rainy, and I decided to put the boat on the water anyways between thunderstorms to see if I can't get some fish in the boat. But that's a good sign first thing in the morning. Let's get another one. Man, I did not get a good hook set on that fish. I was watching my line and it started swimming off, and I set the hook too early. When those fish bite that bait and you see them moving, a lot of times my first reaction is just to set the hook, but you really want to make sure that you reel down to those fish before you jerk on them. I still have trouble with that sometimes. I get a little bit too excited, especially first thing in the morning when you see your line taking off 1,000,000 miles an hour. Got him. Good one. On the buzzbait. Get up your fish. There we go. Look at that thing. That makes up for the one I just lost. Let me get away from here. Just skipped it up underneath that tree. That toad just crushed it main hook on that buzzbait. Oh man, on these rainy days in July, you can come to these shallower muddy lakes and throw top waters and stuff throughout the entire day, and sometimes you can get on some big bass like this one. Yes, let me get this guy unhooked real quick. There we go. But yeah, on the drive here this morning, it was pouring. My boat got soaked. But I saw that this little lake here in central Arkansas was clear for about 3 hours from rain. So I decided to drive up here in the rain and jump out here for a few hours, and definitely paid off. Let me weigh this guy. Guys, I'm seeing 601. I don't know what y'all are seeing. 6-pounder right there. Not too bad for the first week of July on a buzzbait, but I'll put this guy back real quick and we're gonna get back out there. But look at that thing. That is a toad. This thing is massive. Yes. Okay guys, I'm gonna let this big brute go. Whew, look at that tail though, it's still beat up. These fish look like they pretty much just got off the beds, which is crazy for being in July, but let's let that guy go. And he's off. So here's what I was throwing. Just skipping this black buzzbait underneath these bushes. I was throwing 3/8 ounce buzzbait with a black horny toad on the back, and when you throw that horny toad on there, you can skip it up underneath these bushes back where those fish are pulling up with this rain. So I'm getting your horny toad on here and get back to fishing. So this is a buzzbait trick I don't see a lot of people doing. Normally what I'll do when I get my black buzzbait out of the package is I'll rip that skirt off first thing, and then I'll thread a horny toad on the back of it, and this really just helps me cast the bait a little bit further, and it also lets you skip the bait underneath those bushes, and so I really like doing that. And then also one thing I always do is add a little trailer hook to my buzzbait. Even when you're fishing around heavy cover like I am today, you want to put on a little trailer hook. My hands are still shaking from that big one, but that's how I set up my buzzbait. Let's get back to skipping and catching another big one. Now the lake I'm fishing on today, guys, is a shallow, muddy lake. There's a lot of cypress trees, and these fish don't really get offshore too far in the summertime. And this summer's been pretty delayed as far as the fish moving offshore anyways. So it's just a perfect time to come out here and throw topwaters on your shallow lakes this summer. So all I'm doing with this buzzbait is taking it, actually skipping it way back up underneath all these overhanging trees. And it's something that people do with frogs all the time, but not that many people actually skip buzzbaits. So it's a presentation these fish aren't that used to. And a buzzbait's a great summertime bait when it's cloudy and rainy. It just puts off a lot of sound and bubbles, and you can see that bubble trail. When you got the good bubble trail going, you know it's a good day to throw a topwater. Got him. There we go, another one on that buzzbait. Skipped it up underneath that bush, and nice one, grabbed it. There we go, a little 2-pounder. Actually didn't hear him or see him bite it. I just kind of was reeling and he just was on there, so he definitely wanted it, choked it. Good fish. But it definitely seems like the key today are these overhanging limbs over the water. I haven't got any bites on the actual cypress trees themselves, but all of these overhanging limbs are creating good shade for these fish, and when I skip it up underneath those limbs, that's when I'm getting the bite. So I'm gonna keep doing that for a while. One thing about skipping this buzzbait though is that it's pretty loud, so I'm probably only getting 2 or 3 good casts in out of 10. A lot of times I'm kind of plopping it in there and trying to cast backhanded and front-handed. That was a pretty good one there, but you know, with this big heavy horny toe on the back and everything, it's gonna make a loud splash, so don't get deterred by that. Obviously the fish aren't caring too much today. I'm skipping it right over their heads before they bite it, but it's a little bit loud. On these rainy days in the summertime, I'm really never that worried about the type of cover or the depth of water I'm fishing when I start out. Normally I just like to pick up a bait like this buzzbait and cover water until I find out what type of cover they're on, and most of the time you can find an area like I'm fishing right now that has a good concentration of fish. Then you can kind of just stay there over the day and just keep fishing the same banks over and over. The fish will reposition because of that rain, and they'll kind of move back up on the spots an hour after you fish the bank, and it's like fishing brand new water again. Got it. Big one. Another big giant. Woo! Yes! That is a toad. Look at that thing. Yes! On that buzzbait again, guys. How big is that fish? Oh my God, I have no idea. I gotta weigh this thing. That's massive. That's so shallow off this main lake point. The clouds and the storm went away, but I just kept chunking that buzzbait. Even when the clouds are now, fish will bite this black buzzbait in the middle of the day, pretty much in any lake in the country. It doesn't have to be shallow lake either. Just skip it up underneath shoreline cover and stuff, and you're gonna catch big bass like that. That's a pretty skinny guy. He might just be 6 pounds, but let me weigh him real quick. There you go, guys. I'm seeing 665, 665, so 6.5 pounder. That's a giant. That's got the body of a 7 though. That's a huge fish. That's awesome. He just sucked that buzzbait down. I didn't think it was that big even when I set the hook on him, but definitely a big bass. Just look at that big guy. Toad, what a toad. Awesome fish, guys. I'm gonna let this big girl go. Get back down there, fish. There she goes. Woo! Oh, guys, that's freaking awesome. That's 2 6-pounders today on that buzzbait with the black horny toad. Here's a close-up of that bait again. Just a 3/8 ounce buzzbait with that black horny toad rigged up on the back. And the water temperatures on this lake right now are 85 degrees. So you'd think these fish should be offshore, or at least not up shallow, biting buzzbaits. But this is a really good pattern that works anywhere in the country in the summer. It just takes a while to maybe figure out exactly what kind of water they're on, and you're not going to get a lot of bites throughout the day on this. I've only had 4 bites on this buzzbait all day, but all of them have been big ones. So stick with it, and you're definitely going to catch some big bass this summer using a buzzbait. Well, guys, you can actually see the spot where I caught that fish right behind me here. There's just some grass and brush, and that fish bit actually in probably about 8 inches of water. But I'm sitting on the main lake point here, and there's some good deep water access right behind me, probably 15 feet of water within a casting distance of this bank. And there's also a really good shade pocket here, and I think that's why these fish are pulling up and using this point. They have deep water access, they have the shade, there's probably some brim spawning up here. A really good spot to catch these fish on a buzzbait in the summer. Well, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up for today, but I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something about fishing a buzzbait in the summertime for big largemouth bass. I know I had a blast today. And if you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe down below. And also leave a comment if you have any questions about what I was doing, and I'll be sure to respond. So hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.